Travel Michigan is on the air. I'm Dave Lorenz, along with George Zimmerman. And George, we're heading back to the island.
We are. We're talking with Mary McGuire-Slevin, who is the director for the Mackinac Island Tourism Bureau, to talk about other things going on, obviously, at this important destination this summer. And I guess the first question, Mary, is the island open for business?
Well, it sure is. It's definitely open for business, and it's been really nice to see people
Great.
here.
Yeah.
Yes, so early in the season, huh?
It's been unusual. I think maybe because it was so warm downstate, people got the bug to travel, which is fantastic for us.
That's great. That's great. So let's talk about some of the, you've got your kind of major events that are your annual events. Maybe we should start with some of those and when they're coming up.
Sure. We have the Lilac Festival, which is taking place from June 8th through the 17th.
Okay.
And we actually have a nice website for that now, which is MackinacIslandLilacFestival.org.
Okay.
Lots of great events, some nice events on the water. Starline Ferry is doing their first Around the Island cruise.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really cool. So, take your camera and you can shoot pictures all the way around, which is something a lot of people have never been able to do.
Right.
So that's going to be great. And, of course, we have the parade with the Scottsville Clown Band's coming back, with the Glen Erin Pipe Band, Grand Traverse Pipe Band. So we have lots of really great music and really, really good events this year.
Mary, how are the Lilacs expected to be this year? Of course, so many of the festivals and events that are kind of dependent upon the weather have kind of adjusted a bit. You can only adjust so much with nature.
Yeah, it hasn't been warm here. So our lilacs, I looked at my calendar from last year, and we started getting like about a 1-inch bud around May 7th. And now we have about that size of a bud as of yesterday. So we're really not too far ahead. And last year, I think the lilacs were absolutely perfect through the whole festival. They actually bloomed for a month here. I think the cold water just keeps those buds really, full for us. The only thing that really wrecks the lilacs here is like incredible amounts of rain.
Right.
But we've been doing pretty well, and I know a lot of people have been calling and concerned because I think what it was down in Holland, they had some early tulips. We have not been that fortunate to have early lilacs, which I think is actually great news.
Okay, that is great. Mary, as you know, I've been involved a couple times in some of the sailboat races that end there. There's the Chicago Mac and also the Port Huron Mackinac race. Talk about those weekends or those events and, why people might also think about that as a time to visit the island.
Well, it's really a great time to come here because one, it's just a beautiful sight to see all of those sailboats coming under the bridge or coming past Mission Point Resort. It's beautiful. There's really not too many opportunities to see 300 sailboats come in with their spinnakers flying, and so that's a really exciting time. And also, there's great events happening, and the sailors now, for the last 10 years, have really turned it into more of a family event. So we see a lot of the wives and kids coming up the weekend prior and getting out and doing carriage tours and going horseback riding and biking and just having nice things. And this year, the Mackinac Arts Council is doing, for the Chicago race in particular, they're doing a big canvas where they're going to have all these people paint the finish line.
Paint the finish line.
Yeah, they're going to they're going to paint the finish line and then auction off the painting when it's done, and it's quite an undertaking. It's going to be pretty neat. So, the yacht races, it's a beautiful time. Also, the island's gorgeous in July. There's no doubt about it. Everything's in bloom. The gardens look great. It's just a really great time to come, and tends to be slow on the weekends prior to the race, especially that Sunday. Because the boats leave Chicago or Port Huron on the Saturday prior.
Right.
So it's quiet here, and then Sunday night it starts to get exciting when the big boats start to come in. So if people were looking to come and start to see, the races and stuff, that's a great time to come for that Sunday night. And Monday it's harder to get rooms because the sailors do rent them all up, but you can still spend the afternoon here and watch a lot of boats come in.
Yeah, well, George is the sailor in this room. I don't like really to get my ears wet, but but I do like crowds
among other quirks.
Among other things. Yes, but I really do love crowds, and I just like being part of that community environment of everybody coming together, and it's so celebratory, and it's just a good time. And I have to tell you, I can't think of a place that has better nightlife than Mackinac Island, maybe especially during the boat race weekends.
True. It's so much fun here. I don't really know how else to say it except everyone should come and stay the night and hang out and, go into the clubs and hear the music. We have great musicians playing on Mackinac Island all the time.
Yes.
It's not just like a one-time thing. We always have great music going on, and it's just nice to be relaxed and walk around, have a late dinner, go check out some music, sleep in. It's really fun. And yeah, yacht races. I mean, of course, the Pink Pony and Horns are crammed full of sailors, and it's exciting. And you got to really work your way up to the bar to get a drink, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned the bands too, and I think that's right because obviously the clubs, the restaurants, clubs, whatever, Pink Pony, Horns, you mentioned. They're competing, obviously, and so one of the ways they compete is to try to have a better band than the place across the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Pony's always for the acoustic music, and then they've been having DJ Brevin out on the back patio during the races the last few years, so that's really made that exciting. And he puts out a really good show and a light show, and he's a great disc jockey, that does a really good job mixing things up. And then inside, it's usually, Mike Rise has been playing here for nearly 20 years.
Yep.
Mike is a great guitar player, really knows a huge catalog of music. So a lot of them, the sailors in particular, come back and they see Mike and they know him and they know what they want to hear. So he has to brush up all of his, yacht race tunes for the guys. And then Horns, Patty Ann and Stephen do such a stellar job getting really great bands in at Horns. Usually one of the weekends they'll have Jelly Roll. They'll get them out of Legs In and get them over here to play. And the Gatehouse has really stepped it up a lot. Since the Grand has now owned the Gatehouse, they're putting in really great entertainment too. And now both yacht clubs are doing their final parties with the Grand Hotel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly.
Which is exciting too. So when they come down the hill, they just hop right into the Gatehouse.
Right. So, Mary, the other thing is that another event I saw up there, I think it was 2 summers ago, was one of the equestrian kind of horse and carriage events downtown.
Yeah.
Talk about that part of the island culture too.
Sure. Well, we have, it's a pretty new festival. I think this is the 4th year, the Mackinac Island Festival of the Horse. And it was really started by the Horsemen's Association here, and that's a group of people that, are really just invested in horses. And the board decided, hey, let's put on a Festival of the Horse. And so they bring in different specialists that, talk about training and dressage, and they have really great events where they ride, and they do these things called a musical cur, K-U-R, and it's an event where they dress up in costumes, and Marianka Alexander and Michelle Stuck have, a lot of people here actually have gorgeous Frisian horses.
Okay.
And they do these beautiful dances to music with the horses, and it's just very orchestrated and really stunning. And one of the gals here on the island, Julie Rolland, she makes all their costumes. So they're kind of like medieval costumes on these gorgeous black horses with super long hair, and they're, sort of prancing and dancing in front of with the Grand Hotel in the backdrop. It's really stunning.
Yep.
And it's a great event. And you also learn a lot about horses and husbandry and, all the things that have to do with horse culture on Mackinac. And then we have a carriage parade downtown and a saddle horse parade.
Yeah. And obviously what more perfect place for that kind of event than Mackinac, of course. Of course you would.
Yeah, no, it's a great fit for us. It's a very wonderful festival. And this year they're bringing in the Temple Lipizans from, I think they're from Ohio.
Okay.
And they're the beautiful white Lipizan horses.
Wow.
That put on performances. They kind of fly through the sky and they dance and they do all sorts of things. So we're going to have it's going to be really stunning to see the black Frisians and the white Lipizans, and it's just visually, if you like to take pictures or just see beautiful things, especially with horses, that's a great time to come, and that's the first week of August.
Mary, we just have half a minute left, but we should mention Grand Hotel's 125th anniversary this year as well.
Happy birthday to the Grand Hotel, that's for sure. It's very exciting. They're doing lots of wonderful specials. You can go to grandhotel.com, and the inside scoop really would be to get on their Facebook page, because they do all sorts of pop-up specials and behind-the-scenes photos, and it's really exciting.
Well, I found, in fact, if you go to your website, if you go to Michigan.org, you can find last-minute deals and discounts even on Mackinac Island, so I recommend it highly. And,
Michigan.org is awesome.
It's a great website, and, of course, so is the Mackinac website. Let's tell you about it. It's MackinacIsland.org, where you can find out more about Mackinac Island. Thank you, Mary McGuire-Slevin, Tourism Director from Mackinac Island. And I can't believe it. Time's already wrapped up for this week. We thank you for joining us this week, and we'll look forward to having you join us next week as well, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.